Hey Vibers, it's your boy Kai, and I'm here today to talk to you about what it's like for me to be dating in 2021. Before we get started, if you enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, where I'm always posting things like this, some stuff that you might find relatable, might make your day just a little bit better. Okay, so let's talk about what it's like dating in 2021. I'll start off by saying it's not easy. And that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. No, I'm kidding, of course. We still have another 45 minutes to go. Dating in 2021 is incredibly difficult, as a lot of you may know already. Both for men and for women, it seems as though there's just like a lot of games, there's a lot of questions that happen in dating nowadays, and we're all just sitting there like, what am I doing wrong? Let me tell you this, you're not doing anything wrong. We are not doing anything wrong in general. It's just a really difficult time to be dating people right now. I think a lot of us will often compare our dating lives to the generation above us, right? Like I'm talking about the Gen Xers and the people above them, because they have these incredible stories about how they met, about how they fell in love, and how it was love at first sight, and they met that one person in high school, and then they ended up marrying them when they were like 17 years old, and they've been happily in love with each other for 60, 70 years. And we compare ourselves to that type of relationship because that is what our parents and our grandparents told us. And now when we go from person to person to person being like, am I in love yet? And then we're not being able to tell those stories about one person, sometimes we find ourselves just comparing ourselves to them, and we get ourselves down because of it. But what we need to do is stop doing that. That's something that I'm working on, and I want to make sure that you stop doing that too. Let's be real, dating is exhausting. It's incredibly exhausting, but we do it, right? Because we like having that person there that is next to us to support us. And while we do pride ourselves on our independence in 2021, we still sometimes want to share that experience with somebody. We want to share that experience with other people. And there's nothing wrong with being a strong, independent person, whether you're a man or a woman. There's nothing wrong with that. But we do sometimes, if you're anything like me, as independent as I am, I sometimes think to myself, man, how cool would it be if I had somebody to share this experience with? I often actually travel alone by myself. I do a lot of stuff by myself. I travel the country by myself. I go to theme parks by myself. I go to restaurants and movies by myself. And I love doing that kind of stuff by myself. But I would be lying to you if I did say that sometimes I might be like watching a movie, and then all I want to do is just turn to like somebody next to me that I love and adore and being like, I love this. This is why I love it. So what I want to do today is kind of talk about why dating is so hard in 2021, and why we end up beating ourselves up. And hopefully you can take this information and know that, hey, I'm not going crazy. Dating is hard, but hopefully I can give some tips to help you kind of navigate these really weird dating waters, these murky, disgusting, ghosting waters. Okay, first and foremost, dating is hard because of a little thing that we call social media. Are you familiar with it? Don't get me wrong, social media is my life, literally. I am the director of social media for a marketing firm. I'm on social media every day. I'm always posting something. I'm always editing something for a post. I'm always trying to come up with content. I'm always looking at other people's content sometimes. Social media is my life. But social media can also be very dangerous because social media is a very curated platform where people put out this information that they want you to see. They don't put out the bad things sometimes. They put out the stuff that they want you to see in order to help them, help you see them in a better light sometimes. Kind of like this ring light right here. Do you see me in a better light? You like that? You can probably see my pores. I haven't washed my face today. We have to be very careful when we judge our relationships based off of what we see other people doing on social media, right? Because we fall in love with these, online couples sometimes. We're like, damn, I wish I had that. But you might not wish you had that because you don't know what's going behind the scenes. It may be completely fabricated. It may be fake. It might be real, but it might also be fake, and we don't know that. So when you decide to compare yourself or your relationships to other people on the internet, you need to be incredibly careful because what you're comparing yourself to might be a complete fabrication. The second reason that dating is so hard in 2021 is because of dating apps. Good Lord. Dating apps are hard to navigate sometimes because we are literally judging a book by its cover. So on dating apps, like personally, I'm on Hinge, I'm on Bumble. Those are the only ones I use. I used to be on Facebook dating, but that was weird. Facebook dating is kind of like being in a 24-hour Walmart at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like there's other people there, but you can't help but look and be like, seriously? We live in this culture of dating apps now where we are judging a book by its cover. Literally, we're swiping left for, people that we want, swiping right for people that we don't want, things like that. And or is it vice versa? I don't remember. Oh God, this thing's driving me nuts. We're looking at a person's picture and being like, I would have sex with that person. I would not have sex with that person. I am physically attracted to that person. I am not physically attracted to that person. We look at the pictures and then we read, like if we find that person attractive, then we read their bio and we're like, okay, I hope that you like movies too. And then we read through it and then we're like, oh, you like movies. Okay, cool. And then we're like, well, I'm going to message you. I hope you're not insane. And so we end up getting into these relationships via texting on these apps with these random people that we just happen to swipe right on. And, the important thing to know is that, like, really, honestly, even though communication is key, like, they don't owe you anything, right? You are a complete stranger. Dating apps are really hard because you are talking to a complete stranger. You don't know what they're doing. Sometimes you don't even know what they do for a living, let alone their actual name. So we often get hurt. Our feelings get hurt sometimes if we get into these conversations with people online, and then we're like, we have such high hopes, and then all of a sudden it's just out the window very fast. The third reason that dating is so difficult is because we live in a hookup culture. We nowadays sometimes just want something like really quick, like boom, boom, pow, let's bounce. Like that's all that people want sometimes. And it's hard to navigate that because sometimes you want to be able to date somebody that is able to give you the same emotional feelings that you give them. You are looking for that connection emotionally, physically, all of that. Do you hear my tea? My tea is going on. Do you hear it? Oh no! I gotta do it. Almost set my house on fire. That was fun. So here's the thing. When it comes to hookup culture, let me give you a piece of advice. Just be upfront and honest with the person. If you only want to hook up, if you only want to have sex, you should just tell them. What you can't do is hook up and have sex and then bounce without telling them why, or ghosting in that manner. No. You can't do that. I think that communication, this is such a cliche thing to say, but it's true. You need to tell them what's going on when you go into the situation. If you are physically attracted to them and they are physically attracted to you and you say to each other, hey, listen, I want to have sex and that's all I'm looking for right now, and they're okay with that, then it's fine. But if you guys are not on the same page, that's where the trouble lies, and that's where things get frustrating, because all it takes is just a simple text or a simple call or just a simple conversation being like, hey, listen, this is what I'm looking for. Maybe I'm looking just for sex. Maybe I'm just looking for a hookup. Maybe I'm looking for somebody to go watch movies with. Whatever it may be, you need to make sure that you communicate that with each other. That's a problem that I've had in the past, and I'm working on it, because sometimes admittedly, I'm not good at communicating my feelings to people. And sometimes I get so nervous and so anxious that I shut down, and I just don't know what to do. And I have 100% been working on that. I would say, honestly, that's probably one of the biggest, I guess, flaws that I have, that I've had, and it's something that I'm very much working on. And the last reason that dating has been so hard in 2021 is because I think a lot of us are just scared. We live in this weird world where fear is just all around us. There are so many things to be afraid of. There are so many things that could potentially go wrong, all from COVID to these horrific dating stories, to a lot of us being obsessed with these serial killer podcasts, to us watching violent movies sometimes. There's just so much fear that's happening in the world right now. Fear sometimes will just close us off. And when we get the slightest hint of fear when it comes to dating or relationship, we shut down because we're like, oh man, this is not good. I'm scared. Like something bad might happen. And for me, the one thing that I'm definitely working on is just being patient with myself and my feelings and the other person and their feelings, because you never know what that person is going through. You never know what they're going through emotionally or physically. And you may not understand it in that moment, but at some point down the line, you will understand. So that's why we just need to be patient with each other. Look, at the end of the day, let's be real. Dating is very, very difficult. It's very hard. But here's the thing that you should take solace in. You're not alone. We're all in the same pool of weirdness and awkwardness. We're all in this really weird pile of that's what we're all navigating in right now, and we just got to continue to support each other and stay patient with each other, and then you know what, hopefully along the way we find what we were looking for. And if we don't, that's also okay. I put out a TikTok video the other day stating that, like, I'm at a point now in my life, I'm 34 years old, I'm at a point now in my life that I may not ever get married. I may not ever have children. I may not ever find that relationship that I'm really, really looking for. And I'm at a point now that I'm like, I'm okay with that, because I'd rather be single and do stuff on my own than be in a very bad, toxic, frustrating, angering, abusive relationship. Does that make sense? 'Cause, like, that's where I am in my life now. And I'm okay with that. I've accepted that. Now, that's not me saying that I'm turned off to love. I'm not turned off to the possibility of finding the person that I love, that I can have a family with, or whatever it may be, or travel the world, whatever it may be. But I'm keeping myself open. I'm not boxing myself in this corner saying, well, if I don't get this, then I'm a failure. I'm not going to do that to myself. I finally, in 2021, found a way to just accept that. And I feel so much better. It's like having this incredible weight lifted off of my shoulders. With that said, friends, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm always posting stuff like this. I got videos every Monday and Thursday just for you. And you can follow me on Instagram at The Vibe with Kai, where I'm always posting things that'll help you do good, feel good, be good, and live a good life full of good vibes. And you can visit my official website at thevibewithkai.com. My friends, thank you so much for watching. As always, God bless and good vibes, baby.